Thank you again for being here. We'll start our webinar now, and we're going to record the webinar with just the speakers' faces. We'll be sure to send out the recording for you to view or share after this. All right, let's get started. My name is Lisa Bechtold, and I'm the Clearinghouse Program Director. I'm here today with the rest of the Clearinghouse team, Marcella Flanagan, the Clearinghouse Ambassador.
Hello.
And we also have Kristen Cole here, who is our Operations Manager. The goal of our webinar series is to be short and informative with time for question and answers at the end. So let's get started. Before we begin, I want to make sure that everyone knows everything that is available at MTDA. This is going to be a very quick overview of our 4 departments. First, we have our core program in distance learning, which started back in 2010, and they offer high school original credit, FlexCap, middle school courses, and individual pathway courses, most commonly called IPC. In 2015, we brought on EdReady. They offer Pathway to Algebra, Algebra Companion, English Support, ACT Prep, Pathway to College, and an important one for middle schools, MAST Prep. In 2023, the team you see in front of you, the Digital Learning Clearinghouse, was brought on, and we offer digital content platforms, enrichment and Montana Partnership digital learning resources, and vendor digital learning resources. And finally, in 2025, we brought on the Frontier Learning Lab, which provides our AI help desk, and that's manned by real people, not bots, AI and VR use in the classroom, professional learning workshops with AI, and pop-up labs. We just gave you a quick overview of MTDA, including where the Clearinghouse lies under the MTDA umbrella. We'll then talk about the different resources we have in the Clearinghouse and how they're expanding to support middle schoolers. If you have any questions, write them in the chat and we'll make sure we get to them and answer them at the end of the webinar. I'm going to hand this off now to Marcella, who's going to talk about those middle school students.
All right, so let's talk about our sweet little middle schoolers. As a former middle school teacher, this is a topic very near and dear to my heart. On the screen are a few middle school specific characteristics that I'm sure those of you here or watching recognize. And these aren't problems to manage, these are just cues for us for how to teach. And that's why we're focusing on middle learners today. Not just because of our growing catalog and resources available for these students, but because this age of learner is so unique. It's such an important time in their lives to find their identity, to be seen, to allow for some student choice and autonomy, while also providing that structure. So it's a delicate dance teaching or raising a middle schooler, and MTDA knows that. So we want to inform you today of the resources available so you have the tools you need to meet your middle school students where they are. So let's get into these resources we have and how they can address the unique needs of our beloved preteens. All right, our focus today are going to be on 2 of our main areas of the Clearinghouse. We have our digital content and platform courses, or DCP courses, and our digital learning resources. Each one plays a different role, and together they let you meet those students where they are. So we have our digital content platform, or DCP courses, and then digital learning resources, which has vendors, enrichment and partnership resources, and teacher-led vendor courses as well. So I'll start with the digital content platform courses today, so as they can be like a one-stop shop for curriculum for your teachers, and then we'll move on to the digital learning resources that some of them can complement the DCP or what you already have going on in your classroom, and then we'll go into the teacher-led vendor courses that can fill in when you don't have all the courses or staff you need, and perhaps our core program doesn't offer it or they filled up. So we'll get into those now. So for our DCP courses, these are a full online curriculum in the Canvas Learning Management System, supporting a blended learning environment. And I'm going to go into this, but at any point you have a question, please put it in the chat and I look forward to answering it at the end. And if you're watching this recording, you can always email support@mtda.org and we'll get back to you quickly. So these DCP courses are the courses that you're familiar with our distance learning original credit courses that are run by MTDA teachers. but now they're available for your certified classroom teacher to use in their face-to-face classroom in a blended learning environment. These courses are fully developed, either full year or semester courses that have everything teachers need, including lessons, content, quizzes, tests, and projects. However, they have the benefit of being face-to-face, so teachers can allow for collaboration on the projects, read content in partners, add formative assessments, they can pull small groups or allow their high flyers to work ahead, and then they have the opportunity to provide additional support or scaffolding to students who need it, and all while following a clear, standards-aligned digital structure. And as I said before, I taught middle school for many years, and the bulk of those years was at this District of Innovation, and we all used an LMS to store our content. All teachers were expected to maintain their course content online so student learning could be flexible and accessible anywhere. So this experience is why I love our DCP courses. They are the full or semester year courses complete, whereas I had to build my own as a teacher. They're standards aligned, they're ready to go. However, we know your teachers are the experts, so they have full editing access. That means they can use the curriculum as is, or they can tailor it to meet the needs of their students. All right, so on the screen, you see the list of options of our DCP courses that we have. We have our core courses, so all the language arts, math, science, and social studies for 6th, 7th, and 8th. We have elective courses, including career exploration, indigenous studies, exploring music, Spanish full year, 2D art, and health and PE. And then we even have scratch coding, robotics, critical thinking, business exploration, and Algebra 1 options. And a few logistics to think about for our DCP courses, that they are your course and can follow your calendar. So you're not tied to MTDA's calendar. They can work in a blended classroom, but also for your face-to-face teachers to teach some of your students maybe that are remote or hybrid learners, if that's a setup that your school has. They can be used for one-off situations for classrooms, or you can consider full school adoption. And of course, we don't just hand off the course and disappear. Teachers receive onboarding support, weekly blended tips, and can attend optional workshops to learn best practices and share ideas with others using the same content. So Canvas support and blended support. We think you'll really like our pricing structure as well for our DCP courses. They're incredibly affordable, especially when you compare them to the standard vendor. And we'd be happy to discuss any of the pricing options you see on the screen more in depth and how they can meet your school's needs. Just reach out to support@mtda.org for more information or to book a consultation. All right, so that was the DCP, or the Digital Content Platform courses. Now we're going to talk about the digital learning resources. These are a variety of topics and they're flexible, including our self-paced partnership, enrichment, and vendor resources. We also have teacher-led vendor resources. Again, with these resources, learning can be flexible. You could enroll the whole class into one resource or provide a few choices for your students. I love this time of year when you just let the students choose their own adventure. What do you want to learn? Let's do that. And to brainstorm ways you can use these in your school, of course, always reach out to us at support@mtda.org. On the screen are our options for middle school for our self-paced resources. All of them are a variety of lengths, mostly about 4 to 6 hours. Under the Montana partnerships, you see the list of resources we built in conjunction with different organizations in the state, including our reading and writing support Tall Tale Club, Montana PBS Call for Change, where they choose a social justice issue of their choice and write about or make a podcast or a movie. Life in the Land is a film series with this resource focusing on the Blackfeet Nation's relationship with the land. We have Mass Prep with Ed Ready, and Mission One prepares students to work with drones, where we worked with cast.org. And then we also worked with Montana Mindfulness Project that teaches mindfulness for teens. And we also have enrichment resources listed here, and our nicotine prevention resource is a great option to provide students who need something to do while they're maybe in school suspension, or it can also be a whole class experience where they're learning about just healthy options and the negative effects of nicotine. And all of these on the screen, besides Tall Tale Club has some cost options, some have no cost, but everything else is no cost on the screen. All right, and then we have next our vendor resources, and these are also self-paced, and most of them are about a semester length, but they vary, and that information is in the course catalog. And on the screen, you see our offerings from EAZ and Blended that include Animation Essentials, Intro to Business, with easy. And then, of course, you see the middle school career exploration, nutrition, health science, and life skills and wellness. And then I also added these options from our vendor active learning labs. These are all geared for high school students, but we wanted to include them here because we know a lot of middle schoolers they have those unique passions. They're ready to learn more, those accelerated learners. So we do not just say only high schoolers can use them. They're absolutely accessible for you as well. And all of our active learning lab resources are no cost as well. All right, I'm going to pass it back to Lisa to talk about the teacher-led vendor resources.
If MTDA's academic calendar doesn't fit your needs or you don't have a certified teacher on site, we also offer teacher-led vendor resources. These are vendors that are approved by OPI, and they are taught by certified teachers that are not MTDA teachers, nor your certified teacher on campus. This vendor option is different in that they have teachers teaching the semester or year-long course online, whereas the resources previously that Marcella discussed do not. They rely on your face-to-face teacher to assign, monitor progress, grades, and support the student. So keep in mind that Imagine Learning and Nelson Academy do have a teacher teaching the course, where the other resources described rely on your certified teacher to use. As far as Imagine Learning, the teacher is approved as certified in Montana, as well as the course is aligned to standards. Imagine Learning has literacy and comprehension, part 1 and 2 available for middle schoolers. And this list with Imagine Learning is also growing. You can see listed here Spanish, French, German, and Chinese. And these will be available fall 2026. The list with Imagine Learning will continue to grow. And so check back frequently on the website to see what other courses have been adopted. One of our newest vendors to be added to the catalog is the teacher-led vendor Nelson Academy, based out of Northeast Montana. Our middle school offerings from Nelson Academy include Middle School Introduction to Agriculture 1 and 2. Something that we've heard schools ask for is the idea of pre-pathways, learning opportunities that might spark interest towards a particular career so that they're ready to continue on that path in high school, or learn that they should steer clear of that path. With Nelson Academy's Intro to Agriculture available to middle schoolers, they may learn that they want to continue on this route. And what's great is Nelson Academy offers the following courses as well: beef production, animal sciences 1 and 2, veterinary sciences 1 and 2. And at the bottom there, it says Nelson Academy has more coming soon. And that's going to include things like equine 1 and 2, mechanics and welding for agriculture, and vet tech certification, to name a couple. So there's quite a bit coming from Nelson Academy. And because this is a vendor that is located in Montana, they're a great option because they are taught by a certified Montana teacher.
All right.
I'm going to hand it back to Marcella so she can tell you about everything she does to help schools and teachers.
Thanks. Yeah, one of my favorite parts of my job is supporting the teachers that are implementing any of our resources. So when you choose to use any of them, you'll also get our MTDA wraparound support that you're so familiar with. So I provide teachers that are using our DCP courses with weekly office hours. They have access to my booking link to schedule meetings that fit their schedule. I also send weekly support emails with strategies and best practices for teaching in a blended classroom and the basic Canvas skills. I make sure to meet with them at least twice at the very beginning, just so they feel comfortable using their course. And I offer a 6-part blended learning workshop series as well. And with over 10 years of blended learning experience, I just get excited to share and brainstorm ideas for the classroom, share different resources or build resources for them, instructional strategies, and then best practices for the blended learning model. All right, and we do have a brand new website if you haven't seen it yet, so be sure to check it out at mtda.org. You can find the catalog at the very top center, as you can see here on the screen. Check it out and explore, and then reach out to us at support@mtda.org if you have any questions about any content ideas for adding more resources to our catalog, or if you just want that brainstorming session for creating a unique and flexible learning plan for your school. And as we all know in education, we are continually addressing issues and solving problems. As Montana's supplemental school, we are in the business of supporting you address these needs. So let's talk about some challenges and needs you may be facing and what we can do for help. So please reach out. All right, Lisa?
All right, that brings us to the end of our webinar. Our next webinar to kick off the summer or get ready for summer is in April, and that is with the Distance Learning Core program, and that will be April 15th at 11 a.m. If you'd like to learn more about anything we said today, you can email us at support@mtda.org, as Marcella has mentioned. And Marcella is also going to drop our booking link into the chat, where you can sign up for a quick consultation and find out what types of support might work best in your particular situation. Because we have so many offerings, it's one of the best ways to get exactly what you need for your school and teachers.